Hello and welcome to the Un-American Football Show. I'm your host Nate, and joining me as ever, Ross and Alan. Enjoy our first week of football, boys.
Yeah, it's great. Looking forward to week 2, though.
I had a bumper week, as we'll get onto in these predictions and the results. So I'm pretty happy with myself at the moment. Can't complain.
Yeah, I had a quite good week fantasy-wise. I playing in 4 leagues and I won four matchups. So you can't start off better than 100%, can you? So I'm really happy with that.
That's official.
Factual, completely factual. Okay. Right. So this is the prediction show. Let's quickly go through the rules that we have for it. So we're predicting the Sky Sports shown games in the UK. We're predicting the winner, the top fantasy point scorer, and then the final score from each game. The winner, if you pick the correct team, you get a point. The final score, the correct score. If you predict a 1-score game and it's a 1-score game, you get 1 point. If you predict a 2-score game, you get 2 points. 3-score game, 3 points. If you get a perfect score, you get 5 points. And then what we're also going to do is we're going to try to predict the top fantasy scorer from the 5 games we're predicting using the PPR format. You get 3 points if you correctly pick the highest scoring player. But if no one selects the highest score from the 5 games, then the highest scorer receives a single point. The highest selected scorer receives a single point. So, week 1, Thursday night football, Cowboys at Tampa. I had the Bucks. Ross had the Bucks. Alan had the Cowboys. Obviously, it was a Bucks win. So Ross and I get some points on that one. Steelers at Bills. We all chose the Bills and we were all wrong. Browns at Chiefs. I chose the Browns. These other guys chose the Chiefs. I figured that might happen. Bears at Rams. We all went for the Rams, and obviously it was the Rams. Ravens at the Raiders. Alan and I both chose the Ravens, but Ross was the only one who rightly predicted an upset with the Raiders winning a game there. As for the top fantasy point scorer, I went with Matthew Stafford. Alan went with Stephon Diggs, and Ross went with Josh Allen. And obviously, those two guys sucked at the weekend. So it was Matthew Stafford for the win for me. The top scorer of the weekend was Amari Cooper with 38.9 points, which is a very healthy return. So we're going to start off with we're going to go straight into our week 2. No, we're not going to go straight into our week 2 predictions at all. We're going to have a chat about our predictions and where we went right and where we went wrong. Alan, go for it.
I mean, I just wish football was 7 seconds shorter. And my prediction for the Cowboys, I'm currently last in the standings, but 7 seconds difference, and it could have been very different. So yeah, I'm all right with my predictions, and I think I'd do the same again. So death or glory. When I was right, my God, I was right. But yeah, I wasn't right very often.
Yeah, it's so you mentioned the standings there, which I've so far omitted from revealing to our viewers. So I should probably add that one in. So bringing up the rear, as he helpfully pointed out to begin with, is Alan with 6 points. I'm second with 8 points, and then Ross is streaking ahead with 11 points, which needs correcting.
And I think it will be
on this week's games.
It will be corrected very, very quickly. I think what was key is the differential and the Raiders winning. Whenever we had a differential, like you choosing the Browns over the Chiefs and Alan choosing the Cowboys over the Bucks, your differentials didn't come through.
Homer.
But my differential came through. The Raiders won. I was surprised by how high scoring a lot of these games were, especially the Bucks Cowboys game and the Raiders Ravens game. All turned out to be very high scoring affairs. I thought defense would prevail, but here we are.
I found that if the NFL last year taught us anything, is that teams will score a lot of points even when you don't expect them to. And my predictions are all leaning into that. I don't think I've got a single game predicted. I do. I thought I'd predicted 5 teams to score over 30 points, but I haven't at all. I've actually predicted 1. But I'm expecting high-scoring games regardless.
And the Bills,
Brilliantly.
they're the ones that really laid an egg for all of us.
Oh yeah, they really suck, didn't they?
Me and Alan picked Bills players as our top fantasy players, and that did not work out well for either of us. But yeah,
No.
Smashed it.
it's week 1.
Sorry,
we can ease
Bills.
into the season.
Yeah, like a lot of teams who sucked this weekend. Hopefully, our predictions get a little bit better. And talking of predictions, let's do it and move on to week 2. So the games that we are predicting this week: the Sky Sports selected games, Thursday night football, Giants at Washington football team on Friday night. I've gone for a Washington football team victory here, and I think they're going to run out 25 points to 18 victors. I think they're easily 1 score better than the Giants, and honestly, if the Giants from this weekend turn up, they might be 2 scores better. But we don't know what we're getting with Heineke involved. They've got a nice defense, and they have a few decent weapons on offense. Whereas on our podcast yesterday, I made it perfectly clear how I feel about the Giants being a really shit organisation and only having a couple of weapons here and there. Whereas I think the Washington football team is just better. So yeah, Washington football team 25 points to 18.
Yeah, I'm going to shoot my shot on this one. I'm going to go for the Giants. I think it surprised me as well. I just think that the loss and disruption of losing Fitzpatrick is going to be significant for the Washington football team. I mean, their weapons on offense aren't great either. Terry McLaurin is great, but is he great with Tyler Heineke throwing him the ball? Not so sure. I like Antonio Gibson, but I think the Giants can game plan for a lot of the production to be coming out of the backfield. The Giants, a lot's changed from last year to this year on offense in particular. I think they're actually not bad defensively. Not as good as Washington, but it was their first game with Kenny Golladay and Danny Dimes. So they sort of need to connect. Tony also his first game. Also, you've got another week of rest for Saquon. I imagine he'll probably be more productive than last week. Not maybe a game changer productive, but I just think that you've got another week. A good few days, not a full week, but a good few days of rest for Saquon. And I think it'll be close, but I think the Giants have a shot, given the Heineke Fitzpatrick situation.
Yeah, and I actually don't agree with most of that. But I agree with Nate, and I'm going to pick the Washington football team. I said on the audio podcast yesterday, which you can check out on anywhere you get your podcasts, soft plug, that Washington to win games,
Amazing.
they need to score 20 points, and their defense will probably take care of the rest most of the time. I have them scoring 20 points on the nose, even with Taylor Heineke as their quarterback. I think he stepped into the role just fine at the end of last season, was arguably put on one of the best wildcard quarterback performances in that round of the playoffs last year against the Bucs. I think he's going to do the job just fine. They'll make him feel comfortable. He has enough weapons, and plus the Giants are really bad. So 20 points to 10, I'm taking Washington on Thursday Night Football.
Nice. Next up, the early Sunday kickoff, we've got the Niners at the Eagles. I'm going to take the Eagles. I'm not sure why. I'm
Because they let the Lions score a whole load of points on them this weekend, and they can't be that good if they let the Lions score.
Yeah, maybe the Eagles ran out very comfortable winners in their matchup this week as well, and I think they surprised everyone with just how easy it was. I think maybe we probably expected. I think I probably expected a slightly closer victory maybe for the Eagles, but I didn't expect them to absolutely annihilate anybody this season, and they did it week 1. I don't think it's going to be a mauling. I don't think it's going to be that easy. I think a couple of field goals win it for them. So I'm going Eagles winning 24 points to 19.
I have a similar prediction, but going to the 49ers, 24 to 13. I'm not amazed by how the 49ers did week 1, but I think they've got enough to beat the Eagles. The Eagles are all right on defense, but the Falcons aren't really a very good litmus test for anyone. They just look dreadful in all forms, offense and defense.
They could be the worst team in the league this year, comfortably.
So,
they easily, couldn't they?
Well, they've started well if they want to get the number 1 draft pick, because the Eagles were a team that everyone was writing off. And actually, they're not that bad on defense, and there's more questions around the offense. But I think the 49ers are definitely significantly better on defense than the Falcons. And I think they're just going to not necessarily run all over the Eagles, but I think their run game is going to be just too much for the Eagles to win, really. So, 24-13.
Yeah, I really do. The 49ers, I think they'll ease into the season. And I know they conceded a lot of points. I think there was a couple of fluke turnovers, especially from Garoppolo fumbling the ball in the first snap on offense with 49ers. Yeah. That's a couple of fluke plays I don't think will happen again. And I think, as we rightly said, the Falcons very much could be the worst team in the league this year. And I don't think the Eagles will be that far behind them necessarily as the season rolls along. So I think it's too easy to overreact to the week 1 results. So I'm going to take who I think are the better team on paper still, and that is the San Francisco 49ers, 30-17. I just think they are the better team, the more talented roster. If Garoppolo is struggling again, they'll bring in Trey Lance, maybe get that running game going a little bit from the quarterback position, and I'll be excited to see.
Nice. The sort of mid Sunday evening game, I guess. 9:05 kickoff was Cowboys at Chargers. I'm going to go with the Cowboys on this one, which I'm really glad we are finally recording video for this. But 30 points to 21. I just think Dak, Amari, and CD, forgetting Zeke is even in existence and who could add points. I think they're too much for the Chiefs' defense, where I don't think there are many standout players that are going to really challenge the supremacy there. I think the Chargers could run it they might run it a little closer than I've predicted. I just wasn't that impressed with them week 1. So I think maybe there might be a little bit of a, as Alan said, with the 49ers, just going to sort of ease into the season. I think the Chargers may be doing something similar. So I think they're gonna slightly ease themselves into the year with a possibly a closer defeat than I've predicted, but 30 points to 21 for me.
Before I give my prediction, are Sky Sports like NFC East fans or something this weekend? Because we've got Washington football team, we've got the Eagles, we've got the Cowboys. Probably not going to be on telly for a long time after this weekend as a result. But I too have gone for the Cowboys. I think it's going to be close. I do think it's going to be really, really close. I wasn't wildly impressed with the Chargers, but they were playing a very decent defense in the Washington football team last week. I think I had more question marks about who's their number 2 receiver, what's the offense really look like around Justin Herbert. But Mike Williams had a really nice game last week. Austin Eckler didn't have a single target, I don't think, from the backfield, and that's sort of like his bread and butter. He's been struggling with injuries, and I think that hopefully the Cowboys can take advantage of that because they're terrible against the run. But similar thoughts to you. I'm hopeful as much as anything that it'll be another game where Dak's got to air out and he's got the weapons around him to do it, even with the loss of Michael Gallup for a few weeks. So I've gone 28-24 to the Cowboys.
Differentials earlier. I think this is my differential for the week because I'm taking the Chargers in a really high-scoring game, 33-30. I just think, as you said, they were playing a good defense week 1 of the season, 17 to 20 points. I think they got that. That makes sense against Washington's defense. I think you're going to score at least on another couple of possessions against the Cowboys, not just one more possession. So I have them getting another couple of touchdowns. Justin Herbert having a really strong game, kind of the game that announces his intentions for the 2021 season as an MVP candidate. So whether that will last as the season goes on, we'll see, because he's got another MVP candidate in the division. But I think the Cowboys are going to continue to put up points, but I don't think they're going to be able to stop other teams scoring points. So 33-30 to the Chargers.
One thing I will say, it would be interesting to see what the atmosphere is like in this game, because the Chargers sort of famously don't really have any LA fans. And like the Cowboys, when they do their preseason training, they do quite a lot before they go back to the training facility. They do quite a lot in LA, so it could actually be a heavy Cowboys crowd for this one, and I wonder if that might be the difference in some of these
it's definitely
predictions
not a
between the three
Chargers
of
home
us.
field advantage is why I'm picking them to win. I think it's just purely. I think it's going to be a close game, and I think they'll. I think Herbert's got that clutch gene where I think he's going to pull through in the fourth quarter. So close game though. Over 60 points. I think could be a game of the week contender.
Nice. Leaving it late as well. Fourth quarter comeback.
It's Cowboys' speciality, to be honest. Letting
okay.
them go. So.
Okay, the Sunday night football game is the Chiefs visiting Baltimore and going to play in the Ravens Monday at 1:20 a.m. I'm going with the Chiefs for this one. I think the the Ravens looked really average. They looked bang average against the Raiders. Lamar didn't do it. None of them did it. And I don't think they'll do it again. I'm going for a 28 points to 20 victory for the Chiefs. The Chiefs had a comeback win against the Browns, and Browns are a strong contender for going far into the postseason this year. And based off last week, I just think the Ravens could struggle. I think they'll put up some points, but I think they're going to struggle to keep up with the
I don't
Chiefs.
disagree with that. I think you look at the Ravens. I mean, this would have been a horrible first two games for the Chiefs, Browns, and then the Ravens. Both very run-heavy offenses. But there's been so much change in this Ravens backfield, and Tyson Williams looked decent. Had a bit of burst. Latavius Murray looked like he'd only joined 3 days prior, but probably will have a bit more use going forward.
And we've not seen Lev
I
Bell
don't
yet.
think he's still on the practice squad. I think you probably won't see him, or you'll hardly see him. You've got the Browns. They are probably one of the best running units, if not the best, in the league. And then the Ravens, which would have been one of the best, is now way down there, and that's sort of their whole game plan. So I think the Chiefs have already passed, the tougher test against the Browns for 2021. So I've got the Chiefs winning by two scores, 31-17, because even if the Ravens go up, the Chiefs' offense makes the other team's offense seem to sort of like panic a bit, which creates turnovers and strange decisions. So yeah, I just think the Chiefs probably win it fairly easily. Two scores, 31-17.
Yeah, it's a clean sweep for the Chiefs, but I do think it's going to be a little bit closer, and I don't really know how, because I think all the signs do point to, as Alan and Nate have already put, they do point to it being a little bit of a one-sided affair. But I think the one thing we have to account for is we mentioned home field advantage and how the Chargers don't really have any. This is going to be in Baltimore on Sunday Night Football, so in prime time. That crowd is going to be raucous, and I think it's going to make life difficult for Mahomes signaling his receivers and snapping the ball, that kind of thing, at least early on in the game. And then we'll see. And I think just the way the Ravens, I think Lamar Jackson can still run the ball. I think he's still electric. They're going to be able to pick up rushing yardage, probably still get 150 rushing yardage pretty easily. That's not the heights we've seen them in the past, but it's going to be good enough to shorten the game, limit Chiefs offensive possessions. That said, Chiefs are still going to come out victorious. I think 23-20. I have it. That could be another close game, or maybe the Chiefs are actually up 23-7 and give up a few meaningless scores. But I don't see the Chiefs losing it. But I think Baltimore at home, they'll be able to keep it closer than we think.
Okay, and then Monday Night Football, the final game of the week. The Lions visiting Green Bay. Tuesday, 1 a.m. start for us UK-based fans, which I might make. I'm tempted to watch the ESPN2 Peyton and Eli show. Probably won't, but it is tempting. I've gone for my wildcard pick of the week here. We haven't discussed the fact that we should all try to make at least one, but we seem to all be making a wildcard pick. And I'm going with the Lions to win 21 points to 19. I just thought they were in the second half. They were a bit crap in the first half. To be honest, they were a bit Lions in the first half, but they were surprisingly good in the second half. They were surprisingly efficient. Jared Goff scored well. He was very efficient. And I just don't really think that the Green Bay defense offense and defense last week were shit. And is it going to happen again? Probably not. Could it happen again? Yeah. So it'll be close. They're not going to lose 38 points to 3, right? But I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a couple of points in it, and I've got the Lions winning 21 points to 19. I just got that feeling something's going to happen, and it's going to be weird.
If the Lions win, it would be very weird. So I can't disagree with that statement. Yeah, I disagree. I think we just seen a 6th round rookie run all over the Lions in Elijah Mitchell. They've now got to face Aaron Jones. It's one of the most efficient running backs in the league. Even if it was AJ Dillon, I think they'd probably run all over the Lions. Aaron Rodgers doesn't like losing. He's a bit like Brady in some ways, in that it's very rare that they'd have, bad games happen. That was a very, very bad game last week, but it's very rare they have 2 really bad games in a row. And I think back at Lambeau, point to prove, the Lions are going to be tamed by the Packers, 34-10.
Yeah.
Such a nuthead.
Packers win, guys. Sorry, Nate. Packers win 38-7. Aaron Rodgers looks good again. If Lions win, I don't know what to do. Maybe we'll have to find some stakes for that and put it on our social media or something like that. Maybe a £5 bet to charity or something. Because I'd take that all day long. They're not. I don't know. I just don't see that happening. I don't see them having 2 bad weeks in a row. I just don't trust the Lions to put together a game plan with that new coaching staff that's going to beat the Packers for the moment. I don't trust Jared Goff to put together a performance over 4 quarters to beat the Green Bay Packers in Lambeau on Monday Night Football. Simple as that to me. 38-7.
Look, you're probably right, but I just have this weird feeling that something strange is going to happen.
I love the enthusiasm. I love going for your gut, going with your gut, and going with the Lions. I love the enthusiasm.
Yeah.
I like this.
Even though I know I'm going to be sat here next week going, it was stupid. I just got to go with it. So that's what it is.
Ross, you've probably gone for like the favourites in most games. I'd say, which is fine. Obviously, I've gone for the Giants.
Bit safe.
Bit safe.
But
you say the favourites. You guys both take the Cowboys, and I take the Chargers. Like, how is that then not? It's a differential by proxy.
It is. That's why I say it's cool. But out of interest, which do you think is more out there? The Giants winning or the Lions winning?
Oh, come on. Why are you even asking that question? We know what the answer is. It's the Lions.
Lions. Like, you go from a top 5 pick NFC against the NFC Championship team from last year.
Right, we're going to move things on to the fantasy point scorer from the 5 games we are selecting from. I go on Dak Prescott. I think he's going to rack up crazy numbers with that silly offense he has around him. So I'm going for both Lamb and Cooper, a single touchdown and both pushing 100 yards. And Zeke, 2 touchdowns and about 50 or 60 yards. I think he's going to be used a little bit more sparingly, but more in the end zone. And maybe even, I know this goes against what I've said for the actual score, but maybe even Dax will run one in himself. How about that?
Yeah, he does chip in with rushing touchdowns here and there. He didn't seem afraid to run last week against the Buccaneers, which probably terrified most Cowboys fans. But yeah, I think it's a good shout. I'd always support that, so that's cool. I think the week, I could save the best till last and going Aaron Jones in that Monday night game against the Lions. I just said how efficient he is, how they struggled against the run against 49ers. They're a pretty good rushing team, so that's that's not too much of a diss, but I think Aaron Jones, he also had a terrible week last week. It's like a week off for him, and like 5 carries or something. I think, again, this is one where Packers are going to get up early, and they're going to go to the run, and Aaron Jones is going to rack up some points. I reckon he could definitely get a couple of touchdowns, a couple of receptions, maybe 4 or 5 receptions as well. I think Aaron Jones could have a monster.
Yeah, I like both picks, to be honest, but I'm going to go with the opposite quarterback to Nate picked, just to go further against Nate for the fun of it. But no, I alluded to the fact I think Justin Herbert is going to have a break, not really a breakout game. We know he's good, but like a 2021 statement game against the Cowboys, because everyone throws all over the Cowboys. And I think Herbert's going to go 300 yards, 3 TDs, maybe run one in as well, and he's going to accumulate a lot of points for all you fantasy owners of Justin Herbert out there.
Right, well, there we have it. That's our picks for week 2. I'm not much looking forward to week 2, to be honest, because the Colts have got to play the Rams, and I'm just fearful that we're going to get absolutely steamrolled, especially because our brilliant O-line was shit. And we've got to play Aaron Donald, so that's going to be fun. Anyway, let's wrap up. So if you've enjoyed us talking shit about football today, please give our other show a subscribe, listen, like, whatever. You can check it out on Anchor, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Google Podcasts, or more or less anywhere that you can get a decent podcast. And other than that, thanks, chaps, and see you next week. Goodbye. Oh yeah, we're in a visual one again.